Hello guys, I'm Pickles Parker and we've reviewed Rose. Now it's time to review a 10th Doctor story, School Reunion. Enjoy.
Good morning, class. Are we sitting comfortably?
May I introduce Miss Sarah Jane Smith?
Hello.
K9!
3 months ago, it turns out all the kitchen staff were replaced.
See, there's definitely something going on. I was right to call you on.
You seem to be something new.
Maximum defense mode.
Boy in class this morning. Got knowledge way beyond planet Earth.
Affirmative, Master.
The time has come, my brothers. Today we shall become gods.
Oh my God.
Pain and loss, they define us as much as happiness or love. Everything has its time, and everything ends.
Quick synopsis. So, the Doctor and Rose are investigating the school because Mickey asked them to. Because these students have highly are too intelligent for any usual kids, because the chips they're eating. And it turns out that the Doctor sees Sarah Jane there, who he hasn't seen in years. So he teams up with Sarah Jane. And they find out that the teachers are all aliens, and they're Krithitanes, which is an alien race the Doctor has come across before. Now, their head teacher, Mr. Finch, offers the Doctor a chance to join him as they're trying to get the children to crack the Stasis Paradigm, which is something where you can rebuild the universe to your own preferences. The Doctor's tempted, but he stops. And using the oil that's in the chips, because the Krithitanes have evolved so much that the oil is poisonous to him. So they get K9 out. K9 sacrifices himself to kill the Krithitanes with the oil, and the school explodes. And everybody is saved. The Doctor says goodbye to Sarah Jane, and Sarah Jane says goodbye to the Doctor. The TARDIS goes only to find K9 is back in a new model, and K9 and Sarah Jane walk off into the sunset. As we start, David Tennant is actually brilliant as a teacher, because he's investigating, he's undercover as a teacher. He's brilliant as a teacher. You could imagine him being as a teacher. I also love the fact that Rose is a dinner lady. It is just a good bit of comic relief, and even the Doctor finds it funny. So yeah, all good. Up the Torchwood reference, as in Series 2 though. The long-range story arc is Torchwood, and Torchwood appears in some shape or form in each single episode. Now, I seen this one. It's quite early at the start, where Mickey's on a computer, and he says if he can't get into all the files, because they're all just classified, and on his screen it goes, access denied, Torchwood. So, yeah, just thought I'd bring up the reference, and probably in all my videos I'll probably bring up the story arc little thing that's seeded in each episode. But yeah, that was the Torchwood reference in this episode. Love Murray Gold's music in this episode. I think this track, I think it's called The Stasis Paradigm, the music, that I haven't heard in any other Doctor Who episode. I don't actually think it was officially released, so I think that's just the unreleased name for the track. I have tracked it down, and it will be appearing in this video in the background behind me talking. But yeah, I love this track. I really do love it. And whenever I think of this episode, I instantly think of that track. But yeah, his music is great in this one. And I love Sarah Jane's reaction to when she finally discovers that Tennant's the Doctor. When she sees a TARDIS, she's shocked. She's even scared, in fact. It's It's a brilliant reaction from Elizabeth Sladen, who was actually brilliant in this episode. And then when she finally sees the Doctor, she's shocked, but then she's also happy. I just think it's superb acting from both Tennant and Elizabeth Sladen to create such a nice moment. The school that they're in is like Death-Free High School or something. It's not actually Coal Hill. Whereas I'm sure when this went on transmission, people would love for it to be Coal Hill because it's got such a rich history in. So obviously it was where Susan went to school in the first ever episode. It was obviously the first shot. But then also in remembrance of the Daleks. But I think as we've had the whole Clara thing, I think it's with her working at Coal Hill, it was overused. It became just more of an Easter egg. So I think it's nice that for once the school isn't actually Coal Hill in this one. Really fond of Sarah Jane and her Rose's dynamic at first in this one, because they're sort of just arguing all the time. I think this is a period when Rose isn't really likeable, so I think it sort of drags Elizabeth Sladen down and she becomes a bit unlikable, which isn't really good. But towards the end, and they get quite good friends, and it is good to them. But I just think it makes both characters a bit unlikable. I didn't really think there was a need for them to be in arguing so much. Krillitanes, I love the concept of the Krillitanes. There's something different that they're a composite race, the Doctor says, which is like the English race are like mixed with different like cultures and things of countries that we've invaded all the time. The Krillitanes are a bit similar, yet they are more like they take the best like things physically about their the species that they conquer, and they use them themselves. And the Doctor said why he didn't recognise them is because last time he met them they looked like humans but just with very long necks. But the design, they do look like big bats, but I do quite like the design actually. My only problem is it does look a bit naff on screen. It's probably one of the better CGI monsters, obviously, because I think the werewolf in the previous episode 234 wasn't too great and the Krillitanes are much better. But I don't know, I just think it's a good design, it's a great concept, but they could have looked a bit better, and I think they weren't that intimidating. And that's why I think Mr. Finch was more intimidating, because he was just in human form to what he was acting, whereas the Krillitanes were just supposed to be intimidating to sort of what they looked like, which wasn't too great. We get introduced to K9. I love Tennant's reaction to K9. It's almost like he's like a kid and he's meeting the real like K9 and goes full fanboy on him, and he starts like stroking him and things, which I think actually really quite works weirdly, because the Doctor is just so happy to see K9. It's a bit weird. I'm not sure if the Doctor would react to that, but I think it works, and it actually creates it quite nice, because you actually think that that is Tennant doing that, which is that would be Tennant's reaction to K9 himself. But yes, good conversation between Sarah Jane and the Doctor about how hard it was for her to move on when the Doctor left her in Aberdeen. It's a really nice heartfelt moment between Tennant and Elizabeth Sladen, who act the scene brilliantly. It's just a really nice scene, and it does make you think that the Doctor actually never went back for her. That there is why he didn't go back for her. You start to think that. No, it's a really nice scene actually, and it just the chemistry between Elizabeth Sladen and David and Tennant grows. And its chemistry with Anthony Head, who plays Mr. Finch, superbly. They what makes their confrontation so good is just their chemistry. It's so good. and every time they like confront each other, you just don't want it to end. It's just so good. I love that in extensions. Is that there are certain like references that are Sarah Jane had romantic feelings for the Doctor, which I'm not sure if I like, because obviously when she's a companion in the classic series, there was no romantic relationships to be between Doctor and companion. I'm just not sure I like the idea that she maybe had romantic feelings for the fourth Doctor. That's the only thing that I didn't think Toby Whithouse quotes gets right. I'm not sure he would have had, really. I'm undecided on that bit. Quite sad, actually, when he sacrifices himself. You feel like it's the death of an iconic character. And I think that's all down to Elizabeth Sladen's reaction when the Doctor uses his sonic to lock the door, and she's like, no, she doesn't, because let's be honest, K9's probably been her best friend for like the last, well, since the Doctor left her, you know. So yeah, I think it's a really nice scene. It makes you feel like really sad that he's died. I think that's all down to Elizabeth Sladen's acting. It's really top notch. Scene in the garden between Tennant and Elizabeth Sladen. It's a very nice scene, and the fact that she doesn't want to go aboard the TARDIS is it's actually quite respectful, because you can imagine she probably won't want to. She's built her life on Earth. But yeah, and then she says that Mickey should go aboard, which then leads to Mickey joining the TARDIS, which is all good. I like Mickey. So yeah, it's a really nice scene in the garden. We have the resurrection of K9. He's just there behind the TARDIS in I think it's K9 Mark IV. It's just really nice. I know everybody lives that is used a lot, that characters keep on getting killed and are always brought back to life by Moffat. But this works so nicely, and you're just so happy that K9 is alive. And then, like I've said, at the end of the synopsis, he goes off with Sarah Jane, and they go off into the sunset. Cast. First we have David Tennant, who played the Doctor. 12 of his best, better performances of Series 2. He balances both the serious and comedic sides of his Doctor. He also has great chemistry with Elizabeth Sladen and Anthony Head, and he also goes full fanboy when needed. Moving on to Rose, Billie Piper, who played Rose. She can be annoying in some parts, but does provide some quite nice comic relief, and is one of her better, and it's certainly not her worst performance of the series. Cough cough, New Earth, cough cough. So we've got Noel Clarke, who played Mickey. He provides some good comic relief, but he's not in it as much as you would think. Elizabeth Sladen, who played Sarah Jane. Now, what a great choice to bring back. She has great chemistry with Tennant, and she puts in an absolutely brilliant performance. She slips back into the role perfectly. Now we have Anthony Head, who played Mr. Finch. He's a very sinister and compelling villain. He's one of the better one-time villains of the RTD era, and he has great chemistry with Tennant. Great performance. Rod Arthur, who plays Mr. Parsons, the other teacher who keeps on 10 kids to go to extra class. He is quite creepy, but he's a bit one note, I think. He's a bit wooden. Unlike Anthony Head as Mr. Finch, he has a range of emotions. I don't think this guy, Rod Arthur, really is that great at doing like a compelling villain. He just seems a bit like comical how like creepy he's trying to be. But yeah. But Joe Pickley, who played Kenny, the kid, he's a decent child actor. He's not in it much, but then I don't really think he was in a need to be. He's not going to set the world alight, but he's definitely better than some of the recent child actors we've had, like in A Smile or In the Forest of the Night. We've got John Leeson, who is the voice of Canine. I love that dog. He's steps back into the role perfectly with an absolutely brilliant vocal performance. My rating. It's one of the better stories of Series 2. It's just a fun story with a superb soundtrack, great cast, and gripping action scenes. I'm going to give School Reunion an 8 out of 10.
What do you know of the Dalek Asylum?
According to legend, you have a dumping ground. A planet where you lock up all the Daleks that go wrong.
You will save the Daleks. The Predator of the Daleks will be deployed.
Is it bad that I've really missed this?
The Predator must be destroyed. Exterminate!
Get up! Just give me your arm! Back to me!
Please like this video if you have enjoyed it, and if you want to see more content from my channel, then please hit subscribe. Goodbye. Hello, Garen Adams. So, yeah, the parting of the ways, the conclusion to last week's episode, is directed brilliantly by Joe Ahern, and I love Murray's music in it as well. But the thing is, this isn't a negative. I never quite see it as a regeneration story though in my head, because obviously it's not building up for regeneration, but it's quite nice because you have all these modern big building up for building things. It's quite nice to have like a subtle regeneration. It is my second favourite season finale behind Pandora Proton's Big Bang. How good is Christopher Eccleston though? He is right on top form. I love the design of the Dalek Emperor, but it doesn't look that great on screen. It does just sort of just look like a model's been enlarged and put on screen. Rose feels a bit Series 2 when she's with Wonder Woman, which is annoying because I quite like Rose in Series 1. Sending the companion away, like when he sends Rose back home, was done much better in this episode than it was with Clara in Time of the Doctor, despite how much I love Time of the Doctor. The Daleks are pure evil when they go down into Floor Zero and kill everybody when they don't need to, and they're also pretty good in the whole of the episode as well. I heard your sound that you used for the merch corner in here actually. The regeneration is handled brilliantly as well. So if I was going to give this episode a score, it has to be a 10 out of 10. And my score for the finale is a 9 out of 10. Just before I go, I just want to say that you're fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and you know what? So was I.